Well, good morning, everyone. It is a brisk, cold morning here in Zion, very wintry. It's interesting because yesterday, after I finished taking some of the photos and was down in the main canyon, the storm began to break and the sun came out a little bit. Went back to camp and pulled all my camera gear out so it could dry out inside my car because everything got soaked yesterday in the snow. And then I was making dinner, it started to rain again, and then that rain turned to snow as soon as the sun set. And so there was snow in the main canyon of Zion last night. And so that's where I am right now because the highway up to the higher elevation areas is closed right now. And it's not a lot of snow. It's probably about 1.5 to 2 inches of snow, but everything's really icy. And I have absolutely no clue what to expect for today. I just know that there's some snow and ice clinging to the trees right now, which is great. And the skies are, looks like it's overcast. I don't see any stars up there. So I have no real expectations, but it'd be kind of cool to find a subject to maybe some cottonwoods covered in ice set up against some sandstone or something like that. But I have this place to myself right now. So looking forward to what today brings. Well, the sun is rising now, and check this out. Absolutely beautiful. There's some snow stuck to the trees. I'm right alongside the river, and I came to where I was yesterday because I set up a composition of this exact same spot. So I got my 450 millimeter lens, and yesterday I had a horizontal composition with that really nice cottonwood tree and then the sandstone, and there was some snow and some fog yesterday that added some atmospherics. And there's a structure just to the right of the tree, this big sandstone formation. And yesterday that was separated nicely from the background. Of course, by the time I actually shot the photo, most of those atmospherics are gone, but now it blends in with the background. So I'm doing a vertical composition with that tree right there set up against the cliffs. I exposed a single sheet of Provia 100 and then 2 sheets of Velvia 50. It's absolutely calm, and it's gonna be blowing out so you're not gonna see it, but there's some clouds and stuff up in the sky. Sunrise is happening right now. I'm still the only one here. I'm actually a little surprised by that. I am wondering if perhaps they closed the road behind me or something. But to have this whole place all to myself right now, this is really special. This is why I love Zion. Well, it's been several hours since shooting those photos this morning. And I did finally figure out why it was so quiet and I had the place to myself. Turns out that after I drove into the area, they actually did close the gate. So I had the place all to myself, which was pretty cool. But now it's at some point in the afternoon. I have no clue what time it is. I haven't even had lunch. But it is so beautiful here. Snow's covering everything, sticking to trees, sticking to canyon walls. And I shot all the film I had this morning. So I grabbed my digital kit, which is a Sony A7R4 with a 100 to 400 lens. And I'm just pointing at all kinds of stuff. Trees, the cliffs, snow hitting things, general wintry stuff. And I gotta say, this is fun. Having a telephoto lens is something that I have not really had an option with for large format. So it allows you to pick out all kinds of really cool compositions. But it is absolutely beautiful out today. And I should probably grab some lunch at some point, but this is an amazing day in Zion. Well, after having some fun in the main canyon with the digital camera, I've returned to the higher elevation part of the park. Spent some time having some lunch, and also loading some film. And I gotta say, I've exposed quite a bit of film. I wasn't even really counting, I was just looking at the huge stack of film holders in my film changing tent. So that definitely feels really good. But today was a beautiful day. It's gonna be hard to top a day like this. Just seeing all the snow and ice clinging to the cliffs and to the trees. How everything was just so pure, so pristine. Man, this is what makes all the effort worthwhile. I'm returning to the area where I was just a couple days ago, where I took a nice little break in the shade underneath a happy little pine tree. Looks a little different now, a little colder, that's for sure. But I think the plan for tomorrow is to start looking for some ice. It's really, really snowy at the higher elevation areas, and all the washes are, I mean, they're buried under maybe, I don't know, 8 inches of snow or so. But there's some areas that catch some sun, so I think my biggest potential will actually be down in the main canyon. Some of the creeks there get some really nice ice, so we'll see on that. But I'm thoroughly enjoying myself here. Absolutely beautiful day, and after visiting my little pine tree, I think I'm going to go back to camp, have some dinner, and read a book. I want to thank everyone for watching. I'll see you around next time. Well, good morning, everyone. Yesterday was quite the day. I would have thought that it would have been truly intimidating going to the main canyon, seeing snow everywhere and just not knowing where to point my camera, but the truth of it was that everything looked good, and in the really soft light, it was all very shootable. And so after finding a few subjects with the 8x10, I just wandered around with the digital kit and the long lens and found some sort of abstract compositions. And it was quite nice. And in more towards the afternoon, I just put the cameras away and just was wandering around and just admiring the beauty of everything. And it's definitely something I'll remember for a very long time. But now I've come up to the higher elevation areas, and there's still quite a bit of snow up here, especially in some of the deeper portions of the washes. And I have no clue if I'm going to shoot any photos today. I don't even know. But I am going to spend some time wandering around to see what I could find, and just enjoy the sights and sounds. And if I find something to shoot, that'd be great. But I think the key for today is just to relax a little bit and to enjoy the sights and sounds of Zion in the snow. Well, it's absolutely beautiful down here in the washes. I'd say there's about 6 inches of snow or so, covering all the rocks and everything else in the washes, but I'm quite familiar with these areas, so I know there isn't anything I'm gonna fall into, any big holes or anything like that. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't have anything in particular in mind in this part of the wash. I'm just trying to be a good witness to my surroundings. I think a little later today I'm going to head to some of the side washes that face towards the southern sky. Those ones had a fair amount of snow melt yesterday, and the water is flowing a little bit, so I know that there'll be some interesting ice perhaps to work with. But this is absolutely beautiful, super quiet, super calm, super cold. But I am loving this experience. Zion in the snow. It's very, very special, that's for sure. Well, I just hiked up to an area of slick rock where there's a bunch of potholes. And it's an area that caught some sunlight yesterday afternoon. So there's a bit of melting and then refreezing. But the ice didn't look particularly interesting. Usually takes a bit more of a melt to get all those interesting patterns. But I think the plan now is to head back to our truck, grab some lunch, and then perhaps head down to the main canyon where there's some year-round flowing creeks, and check for some ice along the riverbanks. But even if I don't find anything to shoot today, it's just fine with me, because it is absolutely beautiful here in Zion. Just can't get enough of this place.
I remained in Zion for 2 additional days, but mostly left my video kit behind. I was satisfied with the subjects I photographed with my 8x10, so I wandered the washes with my lightweight digital kit instead. You'll see those photographs in an upcoming video. Thinking back to the start of this trip, I was excited for the opportunity to arrive ahead of the storm, and I look forward to seeing this very special place transform in such a beautiful way. Truth be told, I've photographed this exact tree many times before, but we'll keep that little secret between you and me. Perhaps the most important lesson I've learned through the years is that we're surrounded by opportunity in nature, and whether we choose to notice it or not is entirely up to us. It's only when we let go of our expectations that we can truly be aware of the opportunities that surround us. This lesson is easily lost in the hustle of everyday life, but nature is quick to remind us if we only give it a chance. Also important is being prepared. If not for my second tripod head, I wouldn't have been able to photograph the snow over the next several days. Although I was uncertain about working in the winter conditions, I trusted my instinct and found several scenes I'm quite satisfied with. Perhaps the greatest lesson I learned on this trip was to live in the moment and to be grateful for those opportunities I'm presented with. I love telling the story of these trips, but I also know my limits, especially when conditions can change in the blink of an eye. Oftentimes, the best opportunities are quite unassuming in the moment, and it's only after some time has passed that we gain a greater appreciation for those experiences. Whether it's being in Zion during the winter storm, or driving into a canyon well before sunrise, and having a winter wonderland all to yourself. These are the moments that leave a lasting impression, moments that are truly once in a lifetime. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you around next time. If you enjoy this ad-free and clickbait-free content and want to help me live my dream, a voluntary contribution of just $24 a year helps keep my gas tank full and my film freezer stocked. For more information on how to support me and my work, please visit the donation section of my website at benhorn.com/donate. I also have prints in my portfolio box set available on my website. You can find a direct link down below in the show notes. Thanks in advance for your support.